Governor, always a pleasure to have you in studio, but today, like everyone in Arizona, I'm sure that you come here with a heavy heart with a story of 3 young children murdered allegedly at the hands of their mother.
Yes, of course. You hear something like this, and it's absolutely heartbreaking. You can't understand how something like this could happen. We want to make sure that we're doing everything in our power, not only from a law enforcement perspective, but public safety and social services.
Rachel Henry had just moved here recently from Oklahoma. As a governor, as a U.S. governor, and you have people moving here all the time, do you think that on a national basis we need to do a better job communicating between Child Protective Service agencies?
Absolutely. This is something that we've worked on in the state of Arizona on our school safety program inside our schools. But the fact that we have the technology and internet that we have now, and there might be an issue in another state that affects public safety and someone can cross a border and we're unaware of it, I think it's something that governors can work together to help fix and improve.
All right, well, one of the reasons that this segment is so popular is because we allow our viewers to send in their questions either via text or on social media or on video. Let's take a look at our first question.
Hi, I'm John. I'm from Phoenix. And how will you change Uber and Lyft plans at Sky Harbor for the future?
So I heard it was John from Phoenix, but I didn't hear the question.
How do you plan on tackling the Uber Lyft situation at Sky Harbor?
Well, I think Sky Harbor is one of the greatest airports in the United States. It's centrally located. You can always find a flight, and I think people know how I feel about taxes, and I don't want to see them raised. I don't want to see the fees raised on these drivers. I want it to be convenient for our visitors and the people that come to visit us, and certainly our citizens. There's some other cities that have done this around Austin, really not appreciating the convenience and safety that Uber and Lyft bring. So I want to see those options be there, and I don't want to see our citizens overly charged for it or to be inconvenient or to possibly even go away.
You come at your role from a unique perspective coming out of the corporate world, and you know in business, Governor, that there's always the high price, the low price, and then the right price.
Yes.
Do you think this is one of those situations?
Oh, absolutely, and I think oftentimes the market decides it. You know, if you can't find a cab oftentimes, if Uber or Lyft were charging too much, people would be arriving at the airport and saying, can you come pick me up? I don't hear that very often. They say, hey, where should I meet you? And that's because the prices have been convenient for customers, and they really have changed things and improved safety in the state. There never was a reason to drive impaired, but now there's absolutely no reason to drive impaired because these services are so easy and reliable.
But in terms of the fee that the city of Phoenix and Sky Harbor want to put on Uber and Lyft, I think it's $4.
I'm not a fan, Mark. If you asked me to drop you off at the airport on the way home today, should I have to pay a fee? Why does an Uber or Lyft driver who's trying to make a living have to pay more?
Right. And do you think, I mean, we're getting into the busiest tourist season for a state that depends on tourism dollars with spring training, the Phoenix Open, et cetera.
Here we go.
Here we go. Let's see this expedited, right?
Well, and I don't think that the citizens or visitors would appreciate it. I don't think it's necessary. It's just something I've spoken out on. I'd like to see it not happen.
All right, let's get to our next question.
I'm Wendy from Gilbert. And Governor, we'd like to know how you stand on all the Trump things that are going on, especially the impeachment proceedings. We're hopeful that you stand behind Trump. We certainly do, and we are grateful for him as a president and all the great things that he's done.
Well, you are the governor of a red state so far. It's been red.
Well, it has been read. I want to say to Wendy, thank you for the question. I think the entire proceedings have been uninspiring. I would call them politics at their worst. You're certainly seeing the gamesmanship on both sides. Mark, it's hard for me to understand why we need to do this when an election is 9 months away. I understand why some people may love and support the president. I certainly have been supportive, but I imagine we both do, in extended family, people that feel differently. And that's what elections are for. It shouldn't be for the House of Representatives or election elected folks to decide American elections. That's coming up in November. But what I find happening in D.C., I thought last night, thank goodness this isn't happening in the state of Arizona. We're able to focus on our agenda, and we're making positive things happen.